Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today, in an entertainment spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with actor James Duval. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, High Court blocks New York virus limits on houses of worship. With coronavirus cases surging again nationwide, the Supreme Court barred New York from enforcing certain limits on attendance at churches and synagogues in areas designated as hard hit by the virus. The justices split 5-4 late Wednesday night, with new Justice Amy Coney Barrett in the majority. It was the conservatives' first publicly discernible vote as a justice. The court's 3 liberal justices and Chief Justice John Roberts dissented. The move was a shift for the court. Earlier this year, when Barrett's liberal predecessor, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was still on the court, the justices divided 5-4 to leave in place pandemic-related capacity restrictions affecting churches in California and Nevada. The court's action Wednesday could push New York to reevaluate its restrictions on houses of worship in areas designated virus hotspots. But the impact is also muted because the Catholic and Orthodox Jewish groups that sued to challenge the restrictions are no longer subject to them. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said Thursday the ruling was more illustrative of the Supreme Court than anything else and irrelevant from any practical impact given that the restrictions have already been removed. Why rule on a case that is moot and come up with a different decision than you did several months ago on the same issue? Cuomo asked in a conference call with reporters. You have a different court, and I think that was the statement that the court was making. The justices acted on an emergency basis, temporarily barring New York from enforcing the restrictions against the groups while their lawsuits continue. In an unsigned opinion, the court said the restrictions single out houses of worship for especially harsh treatment. Members of this court are not public health experts, and we should respect the judgment of those with special expertise and responsibility in this area. But even in a pandemic, the Constitution cannot be put away and forgotten. The restrictions at issue here, by effectively barring many from attending religious services, strike at the very heart of the First Amendment's guarantee of religious liberty, the opinion said. The opinion noted that in red zones, while a synagogue or church cannot admit more than 10 people, businesses deemed essential from grocery stores to pet shops can remain open without capacity limits. In more national news, schools struggle to stay open as quarantine sidelines staff. Around the country, contact tracing and isolation protocols are sidelining school employees and closing school buildings. The staffing challenges force students out of classrooms, even in districts where officials say the health risks of in-person learning are manageable. And the absences add to the strain from a wave of early retirements and leaves taken by employees worried about health risk. It's another layer of the tremendous stress faced by administrators and educators navigating the pandemic. Social distancing, wearing masks, washing hands, completing daily COVID-19 assessments seem to be working to keep transmission low within schools. The effect of school staffing struggles have prompted some officials to suggest relaxing quarantine rules. In more national news, Barack Obama to be honored next month by PEN America. Former President Barack Obama, already a million-selling author, is also a prize-winning author. PEN America announced on Wednesday that Obama will receive its second annual Voice of Influence Award in recognition of how his writings have traversed political and social bounds and framed a self-reflective humanism that has marked his influence on public life. Obama, whose book A Promised Land came out last week, will be honored December the 8th at the Literary and Human Rights Organization's annual gala, to be held virtually because of the coronavirus. And finally, in entertainment news, looking for movies to rent or buy online this weekend? Redbox.com has you covered. Here are 5 movies that I recommend from Redbox.com that will help you develop the attitude of gratitude. Number 1, To Kill a Mockingbird. Number 2, The Blind Side. Number 3, Forrest Gump. Number 4, Just Mercy. And number 5, my personal favorite, The Pursuit of Happiness. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Consciously infuse your life with positive thoughts. To create a successful outcome, you must infuse your work and your life with positive thoughts and energy. Every positive thought combined with action adds to the formation of the most positive outcome for you. Consciously focus on your thoughts, the words you speak, and most importantly, the words you write. In the Holy Bible, it states how powerful your thoughts are, and even more powerful are the words you choose. Yet the most powerful words are those thoughts you choose to write down. Now you know ways to create powerful energy toward achieving your goals and dreams of success. Today, infuse every task you do with powerful, positive energy. And as always, enjoy your day.
Settle in for the Entertainment Spotlight today featuring James Duval right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actor James Duval joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, as we celebrated our 700th guest of 2020. We talked about his new movie, Beast Mode, and what it's been like for him to do what he loves as an actor. Here's part of our conversation. I want to begin with this experience for you, James, because you've had an extraordinary career. As I mentioned, people know you for television shows, film. I think when I first mentioned to my producer that you were coming on, the movie everyone mentions is Independence Day, right? It's such an amazing thing. What has that been like for you to kind of reflect on this career, James, and what you've been able to do?
First off, let me say thanks again, Cyrus. I'm so flattered, from the kind words. I'm truly humbled. For me, to be completely honest, Independence Day was kind of not the pinnacle, but it was being the fourth movie that I had done, going from making my first movie for $20,000, which was no budget and independent, and then going to my fourth movie, which was Independence Day, was quite a jump for me. And I have to say that everything since then has kind of just been I couldn't be happier to still be making movies after all this time. That wasn't the end all be all of my career, which it easily could have been. It's a tough movie to top, And then again, I think just putting myself to the grind for all the years, I've been fortunate enough here and there to be attached to some pretty special movies that for me, and I think that a few of my fans out there agree with as well. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until next time, I'm your host Cyrus Webb saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Make it a great one.